How's it going, everyone? Blake here, and today I'm going to be doing my first ever Q&A video. I know there's been people that have been asking for a while for me to do some sort of Q&A, and I've always wanted to, I've just never really had the time. But now, with the semester going, I figured might as well do it. I'm sure you guys have a lot of great questions. I'm very excited to see what kind of questions you ask me. So yeah, I made a post yesterday pretty much just saying, if you have any questions, let me hear them. And we got a good amount to get through, so hopefully there's some good ones in here. But without further ado, let's start this first ever Q&A video. What was your favorite team growing up? Growing up in Los Angeles, my team was USC. My grandpa went to USC, my cousin went to USC, and pretty much it's either USC or UCLA if you're from Los Angeles, so I took the better team in USC. How do you feel about UCF doing all the national championship stuff? Coming from an Auburn fan, they were better than I expected, but I think they're overhyping themselves. I mean, at first I thought it was cool. I mean, have some fun with it, but the fact that they're having a parade, and I guess they're putting like a full-on banner outside their practice facility, I think they're overdoing it a little, but let them have some fun. What do you think of the Kyrie Irving and Isaiah Thomas trade? The Celtics finessed the Cavs out of that one. What game to remember was the most fun for you to make? Probably, that's a tough one. I really liked the USC Penn State one that I did, mainly because I was at that game. But in terms of most fun for me to make, probably like the Fiesta Bowl between Boise State and Oklahoma, or the national championship game between USC and Texas, because I was so young when those games happened, because I was, I don't know, 10, 11 years old. I hadn't watched the game since, so it was kind of cool getting to go back and pretty much rewatch the entire game, because I forgot all about it except for, the memorable fourth quarter plays. What was the moment you realized you loved sports? First childhood memory of it. I mean, I started playing baseball when I was 4 or 5 years old, and I loved doing it then. And then my parents, they took me to Clippers games when I was little, like 5 or 6, because the Clippers were so bad, tickets were so cheap, so they thought, he's not gonna know the difference, let's just take him to basketball games. So playing baseball at a young age, and then going to NBA games, and then also Dodgers games, that's when I truly knew that I love sports. What inspired you to do highlight videos? Now that's a great question. I mean, I've been on YouTube for probably like 10 years. I mean, I did videos in middle school, just me and my friends. And I think the first ever highlight video I did was a Blake Griffin one during his rookie season with the Clippers. I was a huge Blake Griffin fan, and all the slam dunks he was doing, I was just in love with them. And I think I just made a highlight video, like just a basic one, literally with no editing, of just all of his dunks, because I just wanted to put it together. And then, after Robert Griffin III won the Heisman, I put together a little, like, 3-minute thing of just, like, his touchdown passes from the year. Like again, literally no editing. And it took off. I mean, it got 500,000 views. And now this is, like, on my old channel. This was, like, my middle school channel. And the video, took off. But I got, like, copyright strikes on that channel from other videos, so that channel got taken down. But I think that's what truly, helped cement my love for highlight videos. Originally the Blake Griffin ones, and then the Robert Griffin III ones. How do you think Arizona State will perform next season with the hirings of Herm Edwards, Charlie Fisher, Danny Gonzalez, Tony White, and other coaching changes made to the Sun Devil coaching staff? I know you're a diehard ASU fan, Blake, so I had to hit you up with this question. Dude, I honestly have no clue, and I don't think anyone at ASU has any clue how they're going to do. I mean, they're losing so much talent on defense. I mean, their defense wasn't that good to begin with. Their schedule's not easy at all next year. I mean, I can see them winning like 4 to 5 games, or I can also see them winning like 7 to 9 games, because this season they did win 7, but there were 2 or 3 games they easily could have had. I mean, they could have been a 10-win team this year, so I'm excited to see Herm Edwards as a coach. He's very, very, very different than other coaches in college football, so I have no idea what to expect. Least favorite college football team? Well, I mean, growing up a USC fan, I always hated UCLA, and now since I go to Arizona State, I hate University of Arizona with a passion, so both those teams qualify for least favorites. What's your biggest pet peeve with YouTube? Oh, I got a lot of pet peeves with YouTube. Probably my biggest one is just channels that use their thumbnails and titles as clickbait when their videos are nothing at all. YouTube nowadays doesn't seem like they care about the smaller channels or kind of like the middle tier channels. it seems like you'll never see good quality content on the YouTube homepage. It's all just the basic channels. So nowadays it's really hard to find good videos on YouTube. So I think YouTube needs to change that, but I got a good amount of pet peeves with YouTube, and that could be a 10-minute rant in itself, but I don't have time for that today. What was one of the best football games you have ever watched? Well, I mean, I still consider the USC-Texas game to be the greatest football game of all time. I remember I cried when that game was over because, you know, I was a huge USC fan, and I was 9 years old, so I consider that one to be the best. The USC-Penn State game, the Rose Bowl that I was at, that was a great one. This year's Rose Bowl game, that was an amazing one. Who is the player in college you would least like to be hit by? Well, I mean, I wouldn't want to be hit by anyone because I would just get knocked out. I'd go with either Myles Garrett or Jadeveon Clowney from the last few years. I would not want to get hit by those guys because I would probably spend a good amount of time in the hospital if I did. What will be the next game to remember? And also, how did you get into sports journalism? I always like to keep those games to remember videos secretive, but let's just say, I'll give you a hint. It's going to be the one that's been my most requested game to remember to date, so if you go back and look at the comments in my game to remember videos, I think you'll figure it out. Now to the second part, how did you get into sports journalism? It's actually a funny story. So out of high school, I didn't know what I wanted to do. I was into editing videos, I really liked that, but didn't really know how I could pursue that as a career. So I went to community college for 2 years, just took all the regular basic classes, and I still didn't really know what I wanted to do. I was taking like film classes and all that kind of stuff. I knew I wanted to go to a Pac-12 school because, you know, a bunch of my family went to Pac-12 schools, so I thought that'd be a fun thing to do. So I applied to all the Pac-12 schools, and for Arizona State, I applied for film. And for them, they make you choose a second major in case you don't get the first. And I was looking at all of them, and sports journalism was one of them. And I was just like, well, I love sports, so let me just put sports journalism. And about 2 months later, I get a letter in the mail saying, congratulations, you've been accepted to Arizona State for sports journalism. And I was like, okay, I mean, cool, I got into college, but sports journalism, I really don't know much about that. So I visited Arizona State, and the journalism school down here, it's one of the best in the country. The Walter Cronkite School of Journalism. If you're an aspiring journalist or you want to get into sports journalism, you need to go to Arizona State because the Walter Cronkite School is the best. I think we're like top 5 in regular journalism, and I think this past year we were number 2 in sports journalism, so we're one of the best. So I fell in love with it, and the opportunities they give you here are unreal. I mean, this past semester, I'm currently one of the beat writers for the Arizona State basketball team who are currently ranked, but they're probably going to fall out, so that's been fun. But yeah, that's how I got into sports journalism. Never, you know, really expected it, but greatest decision I've ever made to this day because I'm absolutely loving it. And you get to cover sports, you get to write about sports, you get to go to sporting events. It's a great major, and if there's any high school kids out there that are kind of on the edge of what they want to do, really consider sports journalism if you love sports because I guarantee you're gonna love it. And you don't really need to be like an avid writer. I hated writing in high school. I hated it. But now that I'm writing about sports, I absolutely love it. So sports journalism, I think that's one of the better majors out there for you to take. What position did you play as a kid? Fun fact, I never played football as a kid. I know, as hard as that is to believe. I played baseball for 15 years. I played basketball for like 5 years, had a little bit of soccer, but I actually never played football. I feel like if I did though, I would not be on defense. I'd probably be like a wide receiver or a long snapper. I really want to be a long snapper. I think that'd be fun. Will you be at AT&T Stadium on draft days? I wish. I really want to go to the NFL draft. That's like one of my dreams. Sadly though, with school, I won't be able to make it, but hey, you know, if anyone out there in Dallas has an extra ticket and they want me to come, I'll join you. What do you think about the XFL coming back? I love it. If they can get some of these like former college greats, I think Johnny Manziel already pretty much said he's going to come back, but if they can get him, they can get like Robert Griffin III, they can get Colin Kaepernick. I know there was some tweet thing going on the other day on Twitter with Matt Leinart, and he was like, I'll come back. That would be great. So depending on what kind of players they get, I think this has the potential to be huge. Who would you want to see win the Super Bowl? Well, I mean, I would love to see my Saints win the Super Bowl, but But yeah, Patriots-Eagles, I think it's going to be a good game. I'm one of those guys that's going to root for the Patriots. I know everyone hates them. I know they hate Tom Brady, but we're at a time right now where what they're doing may never happen in our lifetime, so I'm rooting for them to pull this one out. And plus, no offense to Philadelphia Eagles fans, but after the videos I've been seeing after that Vikings game, I don't think you guys deserve to win a Super Bowl. But either way, if they win or lose, Philadelphia is going to be, it's going to be insane next weekend. Since you're at ASU, have you ever thought of trying to get on the football roster? Funny thing is, they literally posted a tweet a few days ago saying they're going to have open tryouts for the football team, and I was joking with my friends, hey, let's go try out, you know, worst thing happens is we don't make the team, but what if we somehow make it? No, I mean, I'm only like, what, 5'11"? I don't know where they would put me on the field at all. I would not be a great player, but hey, if I can just get a position on the team regardless of what it is, I don't even have to play. Just give me a jersey and I'll stand on the sideline. I'm more than okay with that, but that'd be fun, walking out to the Arizona State football team. Can we meet one day, and who do you think will win the national championship? Well, Nathaniel Rundles, of course we can meet one day. Just come to Arizona State and I'll meet you. And who do I think is going to win the national championship? I mean, I have no clue. I mean, every year there's so many different teams that are good or bad, but you can't rule out Bama at this point, right? Especially with Tua as their quarterback. So, I mean, I want to say Arizona State. I want to say they're going to go undefeated next season and take it all, but yeah, that might not happen. Views of Saban in this dynasty. Are you tired of seeing them winning? Who will have the next dynasty? I know everyone hates Alabama, but you gotta respect what they're doing. I mean, like I talked about with the Patriots, we're in the middle of something that may never happen again with Nick Saban in Alabama, so I am tired of seeing them winning every year, but I have nothing but respect towards them. And who will have the next dynasty? That's too tough to predict. You know, I feel like Alabama's dynasty is going to go on for at least another 5 to 10 years. So for the next dynasty, we're going to have to wait and see. I mean, Arizona State with Herm Edwards, maybe? I wish. Do you think the Browns should take a quarterback? Idiotic idea. Or take Saquon first pick? I am so confused on what the Browns should do. I personally do not think Kaiser is their future quarterback. I was not sold on him at Notre Dame, and last season I was not sold on him at all. If I'm the Browns, this is what I do. I try to sign like a Kirk Cousins or an Alex Smith, a veteran. I try to get one of those guys. Maybe trade a draft pick or, I mean, Cleveland's got enough money. They can afford one of them. I try to get Kirk Cousins, okay? With the #1 pick, I trade that pick to get more picks. Because I don't think Saquon Barkley is worthy of the #1 pick. No way do you take him #1. So if you're Cleveland, I trade the #1 pick, get another first rounder, maybe a future first rounder, use your 4th overall pick on Saquon if he's there, which I still think is a stretch, or like a defensive player, and then you just build through the draft. But I don't think Cleveland should draft a quarterback this year. I really don't. I think in the next few years maybe. Go with a veteran now, because let's face it, Cleveland's not going to be winning anytime soon. You might as well get a veteran and then just slowly build from there. But that's what I would do if I was a GM. Alright, well that wraps up this first ever Q&A. I really appreciate everyone that asked a question. Sorry I couldn't get to all of them. Otherwise this would have been like an hour-long video. So if everyone liked this, I'll do a Q&A part 2. That way I can get to more of you guys' questions, answer as many as I can. But like I said, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in another video very soon.